This is the 2023 Acura MDX Type S. What exactly do you get for the sticker price of $74,895? Well, we're going to take a look at this platinum white with red interior MDX Type S today in our video and answer that question for you. I'm going to show you what all is here. And believe me when I say, there is a lot to cover. This MDX Type S features a very sporty handling capability, but it doesn't come at the sacrifice of good ride quality. You still have comfortable ride quality and a lot of features and driving aids for the money. You should for that price, right? But there is a lot here, and we're going to talk about it. In fact, I borrowed this model from my friends here at Orr Acura today in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you bought this MDX Type S here at Orr Acura, you would have basically lifetime roadside assistance and several other great things that come along with this model for as long as you own the vehicle. Even if you're out of town, you can still call Orr Acura and they're going to expedite the process for you when you're out on the road. So now that you know some of the nice features and, well, basically added value that you get, let's dig in to what exactly we have here. And we start out here on the front end with the multi-jewel LED headlights, complemented by the LED chicane daytime running lights right here. I like the fact that it works its way over, kind of has a little drop to it, almost looks like a check mark of sorts, and then works its way up. It looks like it's actually moving when it's really not. So it gives the vehicle kind of an in-motion look of sorts. The blinker housing right here looks very nice, very complimentary of everything else that we see here. And I like the fact that down here you have the functional air vents, going to allow air through. That's going to be useful. And there's a lot of gloss black here. So with the front lip on the front end here, it looks really nice. The upper and the lower grills here, everything you see here is specific to this Type S model of the MDX. And I always have to say, I really like the overall in-motion look of the front grille on these Acura models, whether it's the MDX or whatever else it may be. They look great. It just doesn't have that kind of typical look to it. But the whole front end, really here, the front fascia is specific to the Type S. Wind tunnel tested so that it improves aerodynamics, reducing drag. It has a lot of advantages, that's for sure. You're also going to have your forward-facing camera right here. That's going to allow you to see what's going on when you're driving around in parking lots or close quarters and tight spaces, whatever the case is. And a very nice, large Acura logo here on the front end, complemented by that Type S logo with the chrome. Then you've got Type S kind of stamped in there. And that S being in red, it just fits. It looks right. And because this is a great vehicle to drive spiritedly, you need a lot of meat planted to the ground. So you have the 275 on your width, complemented by the 40 series sidewall right here, and wrapped around the largest rim ever seen on any Acura model. That's 21 inches. And then you're going to have that red brake caliper right there. Going to obviously have the Acura logo on there. Kind of hard to see, but we'll give you the best view that we possibly can. Adaptive suspension, sports suspension, everything is here that's just going to make this car, or SUV I should say, ride well, handle well. It's a great balance. You're going to have the black mirror caps, gloss black mirror caps. Kind of hard to see right here. Let's see if I can give you a good view of that. But you do have the turn signal indicators built in right there. And one thing that also is specific and unique, the remote. And you might say, how so to this Type S? Well, not only the Type S logo back there, but it's actually longer in its size than what you would have with any other trim level of the MDX. So something very interesting to know about. When I hit the lock button here on the remote, the mirrors do fold in. I know a lot of you like to know about that. There is your remote start button, so it may look a little bit different from what you're used to. It doesn't say hold or anything like that. It just says engine hold, but that's remote start. So in case you were wondering, then we're also going to have the gloss black roof rails up here. I'm going to have the nice tinted glass here, a little more gloss black as far as the surround goes, and a nice look here. The nice, very well done tail lights, the Type S logo right there. And yes, this is a hands-free tailgate, so you can use the motion sensor We'll show you how that works shortly. And then the MDX logo, obviously, this is an all-wheel drive model. And then we have quad tip exhaust here on the rear, coming out from under the bumper here, 2 on the right, 2 on the left, and then the rear diffuser to help with air channeled under the vehicle, doing all of that in just the right way. And then you also have your rear roof spoiler right here to really finish things off and help when the vehicle's in motion, at least, to channel air over this rear window and help keep it as clean as possible. But obviously, when you do need something to clean it off with, you can use your rear window wiper to take care of that. And under the hood, the turbocharged 3-liter V6 puts out a strong 355 horsepower and 354 pounds-feet of torque. It's made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And I have to admit, a lot of the time I don't like these plastic covers that go over the top of an engine, but you know, Acura has done a pretty nice job here. It's not cheap plastic. If you knock on it, you can kind of hear that it's pretty thick. So that's a nice piece, the Acura logo right there. So in this case, I actually do think that looks okay. I'm gonna have the struts here to hold the hood up. I like that, those hydraulic hood struts. And let's take a look at what we have as far as MPGs. Some of you like to see the window sticker, so you can see that right there. 17 city, 21 highway, 19 combined. And Acura says you should use 5.3 gallons of gas for every 100 miles you drive. And to help out with that number, to make it a little easier to understand, you have an 18.5 gallon gas tank right here that you'll be filling up with capless fuel fill. If you want to tow with your MDX Type S, you can tow up to 5,000 pounds, and we're going to use the motion sensor here to open the rear lift gate, because there's something I want to show you here. Notice that doesn't open all the way, does it? Well, there's a reason why I did that. I wanted to show you something. So say you need to change the height of your rear lift gate right here. So in my case, I'm gonna raise it up. In your case, you might bring it down, but what you're gonna do is basically push it or pull it into the position where you want it, and then you're gonna hold this button down until you hear the beeps. A few more. Now, I'm gonna close that back up, and I'll tell you that you have 18.1 up to 95 cubic feet of cargo capacity, just to kind of kill some time while we're watching that happen. And now you'll see that after I made that change, it's going to open all the way up. So that's how you do that. There's nothing in the infotainment screen or a button or anything within the interior to do that. That's where it is. So you're gonna have your cargo mat back here. That is useful. And then we're going to have the power outlet right here. Let's see if I can open that. There we go, right there. And then you can use that button to close everything back here if you want to. Quite a bit of space back here, and it gives us a good opportunity to take a good look at the panoramic sunroof. Now, if you want to maximize cargo capacity, here's how you're going to do that. To lower these rear seats, it's not difficult to do. All you're going to do is use that lever right there, and then the seats will go all the way down. I didn't leave, there we go. I didn't get the seat belt out of the way. Now you can see how that folds flat, and that is how you maximize cargo capacity. And a quick look at a second view of that panoramic sunroof right there. And don't worry, I'm gonna let you see that you do have 3 rows of passenger space here. Let's see exactly how much space we have. I'm gonna hop here into the back seat and just see what kind of leg room I have. I believe this is the first one I've done. Now, you can move the seats back and forth here. So if some adults need to sit back here, that can be taken care of, not a big deal. But just so you can see what all is back here, there are USB connections right back here. There's at least 2, yep, there's 2. And obviously you can use that not only for rear seat passengers, but also for, well, different options back here as far as the rear cargo capacity goes as well. Cup holders right here, and then we're going to have the ability, if someone jumps out, maybe one of the kids or something like that on their brother or sister who's sitting in the back, and they forget to move the seat out of the way, all they have to do is push that seat right there, or push that button right there, and the seat moves right out of the way. And as you can see, yes, you can move these back and forth. See, I told you so. So now you can see that's probably unrealistic right there, but just so you can see the difference with the seats all the way back or all the way forward. And taking a look into the rear seat area through the left side door, very nice color here. As far as the red goes everything just complements. You've got the ELS stereo here, and notice right here, that kind of mimics the front end as far as that kind of almost bursting look of the front grille. And then we'll take a look inside here. Before we do, you do have the nice large door bin right here, nice bottle holder there. Snacks can go here. And then we'll hop inside. And notice I did bring the shade forward. So you do have that power shade for the panoramic sunroof. Gonna have the rear storage pockets on each seat on the back. And then look at this. We have climate control capabilities back here. Quite a bit going on with what you can do as far as the rear seat passengers are concerned. You can control fan speed. Also heated outboard seats. That's always a good thing. And then connectivity options down here. There's actually a few different options here. You've got the power outlet, USB connectivity, and 12 volt. And then when it comes to what's available here, let's see if we can get this to come down. Let me do this. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. There we go. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you with that. But since it's kind of hard to do that one-handed. So you have the fold-down armrest that comes forward and hits the camera unintentionally. Cup holders here, and quite a bit of space here for snacks. So a lot there, very comfortable. A little bit low for me personally, but the kids back here, they're going to be happy with that. That's perfect. But we're just getting started because there is a lot left to talk about in the front seat area. And a quick look here at the passenger side front door. We're going to see some differences here. The wood grain paneling right here, a larger door bin. Still those soft touch materials for the armrest right here, very comfortable. So we're going to see right here where you have your 3 different settings for seat memory on the passenger side. So you know you'll also have that on the driver's side. The gloss black trim that's going to work its way across. And then the felt lined glove box. Nice and comfortable right there. You can put all your gloves in there. And concealed away, there are your USB connections, the push button shifter, your mode selector for all the different driving modes. There is the dial for the radio. You can turn the volume up or down or mute that if you want to. Cup holders, wireless charging. And then I don't know how well I can show you right here, but you have 2 different releases right here. One here and one here for the lid for the center console. So if you hit the one that's on the driver's right, basically, this is what you have, a little concealed area right here. And then the other one that's on the driver's left will reveal more connectivity and space down there into the center console. Taking a quick look at the driver's side door, for the most part, we're going to see the same things we saw on the passenger side, except you have your controls for controlling the power side view mirrors, window locks, and then the controls for all 4 windows. You can also open that power rear liftgate. Now, one thing you'll notice that isn't here are child safety locks. That's because you activate them on the rear door. That's what this is. When it's in the up position like we have it now, that means they're not active. Push it into the down position, they are active. That's good information if you're going to hop in to your MDX and take a look at the back seat maybe when there's nobody around to help you out. Make sure at least one door has those open so that you can get out without having to crawl through the pass-through right here. And now we'll hop into the driver's seat and let you listen and watch. And we'll hit the push button start right here. You can see that lighting up. And we'll start up everything and let you see the digital dash right there. A very nice, elegant look. It looks sporty, but looks luxurious at the same time, really what you would expect here with this model. And then I'm going to use this scroll wheel right here to just go through quite a few different features. We're not going to talk about what all is there, but just to kind of show you what's there as far as different details about the vehicle and all that good stuff. Steering wheel mounted controls, obviously. Nice large shifter paddles for working your way through that 10-speed automatic transmission. And here's the thing, this is not a touch screen. It's because it's so far away for most people. I know someone might sit close enough to the steering wheel where they could reach it, but you control it via this trackpad right here. Let's see if I can show you both at the same time. So here's what's going to happen. See how it's highlighted in red, those icons are? Well, what happens if you take your finger off? It doesn't do anything. You have to actually press down to actually get it to work. So as you can see, that's what happens. Hopefully that makes good sense. You do have your built-in navigation right here. So in case you were wondering about that, there it is. And then we'll go back here. I'm going to go into reverse. and show you the cameras all around the vehicle, the 360-degree view. And remember, I told you about, well, let's see here, just out of habit, wanting to do that, wanting to actually hit that button on the screen or hit the option on the screen. So there's what we have as far as those views go. It does take a little getting used to here. You can change the brightness if you would like to as well. And then when I go into drive, it's going to switch around to the front camera view. I showed you that front camera earlier. Now you get to see it in action. Obviously, you have the overhead 360-degree view right there. And then we'll go back into park. Now, you do have the drive mode selector, and it's going to give you a lot of very nice graphics here. Let's see here. Now we're going to see it. So there we go. We've got snow. We've even got lift. And I'm going to show you in just a second the difference between that and the regular height. So let's do this. There are our different driving modes: comfort, normal, and then we have sport right here. So if you're curious about that, that's how you do that. And then you can hit the button in the center right here. That's how I went to individual like that. So in case you're curious about that. So let's do this. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go and look at the height of the vehicle. Hopefully you can tell the difference between lift and, well, non-lift, I guess we could say. But when you go into lift mode, I can actually feel the vehicle rising up. So it actually has over 9 inches of ground clearance. It looks pretty good that way and gives you quite a few options depending on your situation. You can actually hear it rising right now and see the difference. I don't know if you can really tell much compared to what we saw earlier, but just so you can see what's there, you can obviously see we have a power driver's seat here, as you would expect, and quite a few features here with the safety features. You've got your head-up display, which I don't know if you can see that very well right now. It's hard for me to see it because it's really not in a good position to see, but you also can adjust the light on it. There we go. Now you can kind of see it really well and see what's there. So if you're curious to know what your head-up display looks like and as far as what you see there, I hope you can see that. It's kind of hard to see in this bright light, but just so you can see, that's what you have. Dual zone climate control right here. Obviously, everything you would expect to see there, well, there it is. A very comfortable and easy to use interior. You can sync these two sides together if you want to so that both stay on the same temperature. Unless the passenger wants to change theirs, then that changes things up. And then check this out. Here we go. We've got ventilated seats. We've got heated seats. So depending on what you need, believe it or not, today in the middle of January in Northwest Louisiana, this is what I need. That's crazy, isn't it? It actually is that warm today. And then your upper console going to have the sunglass holder. You're going to control the shade and that panoramic sunroof that does open. The front portion does open right there from that area. So that's a quick look at the interior. There's so much here we could probably cover quite a bit more if we wanted to. You do have your brake hold mode. You can turn the auto stop start feature off right there if you want to. But we're going to get out on the road for a quick test drive and see what it's like with 355 horsepower under the hood in this MDX. All right, we're out on the road for our test drive and just witnessed a driver using their blinker in Shreveport, Louisiana. That does not happen very often. So, aside from noticing good and often bad drivers on these test drives, what is it like to drive this MDX Type S? Well, one thing that really jumps out at me, and I don't know that it showed up as well earlier when I showed you in the video, the head-up display is just super bright. You can change the brightness and the position and all that kind of stuff, but I have to say, I've been in some vehicles where it wasn't as bright, so that makes a big difference. Now, one thing I have to say here that does impress me, and I talked about it earlier, but having the actual experience just makes such a difference, is the fact that you have such great handling, but it doesn't come at the sacrifice of ride quality. And what about acceleration? You know, it doesn't feel like it's accelerating as hard as it is because it's a large SUV. It's not full size, obviously, but it is a large SUV. And the fact that you have a really nice exhaust note sure doesn't hurt. That really seems to permeate the interior even better than the TLX Type S that I just did in a recent video. Kind of interesting. I don't know why that is, but Maybe the exhaust system's a little bit different. I'm not sure about that. But I tell you what, if we had a nice twisty road to drive on, this TLX, or excuse me, this MDX, let's get that correct because I just said TLX, but would be right at home. So one more little exhaust pull or exhaust clip. It definitely gets up to speed quickly, but like I said, the size of the vehicle really it's a little deceptive. The higher off the ground you are, it doesn't give you the same sensation of speed, plus the size of the vehicle. So there's things that factor into that, plus it's obviously heavier than the TLX. But if you were lower to the ground, you'd have more of that sensation of speed than you will when you're this high off the ground. But overall, it's just a comfortable ride quality. The seats themselves are comfortable, obviously fully adjusted or adjustable. And funny thing, here it is in the middle of January, and I have the cooled seats on, the ventilated seats turned on right now, and I'm comfortable at 65 degrees. I don't know if you can see that from your vantage point where I have the GoPro mounted, but wow, quite interesting. This is really a great overall vehicle because it's such a great multitasker. It can be used as a family vehicle to get the family back and forth on vacation or the kids to school. Or if you want to be the fastest soccer mom in town, well, you'd have a good running chance at that with this particular model. Plenty of cargo space back there and plenty of space for passengers as well. It's comfortable. I don't think the technology here is difficult to learn or use. I know a lot of you might want to see a touch screen, but once you get used to that trackpad down there, it's really not that big of a deal. And for maybe if Monk was going to buy a high-performance SUV, he would love this because there wouldn't be any fingerprints on the infotainment screen. So that is what you can expect to find if you are going to spend $74,895 on a 2023 Acura MDX Type S. Tell me what you think down in the comments. If you plan to buy one of these, how do you plan to spec it out? Or are you going to buy a different trim level other than what we've looked at here today? Gotta say a special thanks to my friends at Orr Acura here in Shreveport, Louisiana for loaning me this MDX for the day. And a special thank you to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn about other vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.